How can we add two binary numbers together? Well, before we talk about that, I want to take a look at a decimal example because the process for doing this with binary numbers is exactly the same as the process for doing it with decimal numbers. Right, so you remember the way this works is you start at the right-hand side and you add down the columns. Right, so 4 plus 3 is 7, that's fine. 5 plus 8 is 13, and that's a problem because 13 isn't a single digit. And the only things I can put down there under a column are single digits. So what we do here is I take the number on the right, the 3, that's the one that goes in the column, and the other number gets carried. It goes over to the following one. And now we just continue. 1 plus 0 plus 1 is 2. With the 2, there's kind of an implicit 0 here. 2 plus 0 is 2. And there's our answer, 2,237. Now, there's a lot behind this that we don't even think about because all of us have been doing it for so long. To do decimal arithmetic, you have to know that 5 plus 2 is 7. You have to know that 8 plus 7 is 15. You have to know that 9 plus 4 is 13. Every combination of two of those 10 digits, 0 to 9, you have to just kind of know what it equals. I'll be honest, I was doing some of those on my fingers all the way up into the 8th grade. But eventually there comes a point where you just kind of know them all. All right. We're talking about binary numbers. They are mercifully simple because there's only 2 digits. There's only 4 different combinations of those digits taken 2 at a time. Right, I've got the first 3 here. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. And 1 plus 0 is 1. Awesome. The binary results are exactly the same as the decimal results. Where this gets different is with the last combination. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Now you notice I didn't put a little subscript there. That's a decimal 2. Right? Because 2 is not a binary digit. We're not allowed to put it as part of our result. 2 in binary is 1, 0. Right? So notice how this was like, when the 8 plus 5 was 13. I'm going to put the 0 in the column, and I'm going to carry the 1. It's going to be exactly the same. Right, so let's look at an example. Right? Take a look at this one. Start on the right-hand side. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. All right, we can't put a 2, right? But 2 is 1, 0. So I'm going to put the 0 down here. I'm going to carry the 1. Keep going. 1 plus 0 plus 1 is 2, so I got to do it again. I'm going to put a 0 here, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Now here I'm at the end of the number, so I'm going to just put 1, 0 there. And there's my result, and that's what the sum is. Okay, now it can get a little busier than this. Like, for example, what if I had a third number up here? Well, now it's getting a little more complicated because in this column, we've got 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is greater than 2. All right, this isn't going to come up for us. We're never going to have a situation where we have to add more than 2 numbers together. Just as a practical matter, if for whatever reason you ever do see something like this, I would just do them 2 at a time. Add those 2 numbers together, then add that result to the third number, and you'll be home free. Now, there is one other situation that can come up. You notice I've added a row down here at the bottom. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 3, which of course isn't a binary digit. 3 is equal to 1, 1 in binary. So take a look at this example over here on the right, and you'll see how this comes up. Looking at the right-hand column, 1 plus 1 is 2, just like before. I'm going to put a 0, carry the 1, and now you see I've got that case. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. Right, so what do? Well, it's 11. I don't know if there are really names for the binary numbers like there are with decimal numbers. I usually just use the decimal names and kind of reinforce that it's a binary number I'm talking about. So here, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. That's 1, 1. So I'm going to put a 1 down here, and I'm going to carry the other one, just like we do with the decimal numbers. So finally, 1 plus 1 is 1, 0, binary 2, and there's my result. And that's what this adds up to. So there's 2 special cases that are going to come up for us where we need to know the next number after a given one and the previous number before a given one. Well, finding the next number is just adding 1. And you could do that here. You could put a 1 down there. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of carrying that goes on. Right? But it helps, I think, to look at the analogous decimal situation. My binary number is kind of a maximal number. It's the biggest possible 6-digit number. I've got a 1 in every position. Well, the equivalent decimal number would have a 9 in every position. What happens here when I add 1 to it? Well, everything kind of rolls over. Every 9 becomes a 0, except for the one at the front, which becomes a 10. Exact same thing is going to happen with a binary number. This 6-digit binary number that's all 1s is going to become a 7-digit binary number that's 6 zeros preceded by a 1. Right, and I want you to think about what these numbers are. This first number with all the 1s, this is the equivalent to decimal 63. Obviously, one more than that is 64. And just like this decimal number is a 1 followed by a bunch of zeros is a power of 10, over here with the binaries, 1 followed by a bunch of zeros is a power of 2. All right, so what if we wanted to go the other way? What if we wanted to subtract? All right, so what I have here, this is a 5-digit binary number. This is 16. And I want to subtract 1 from it. Well, that's 15, right? So what is binary 15? Well, it's the exact same thing in reverse. If I wanted to subtract 1 from this 7-digit 1 followed by 6 zeros decimal number, it would turn into a 6-digit number that's all 9s. Well, the same thing is going to happen here. This 5-digit 1 followed by zeros is going to turn into a 4-digit number that's all 1s. So multiplication isn't a situation that's going to come up very often for us, but there is one special case of it that we're going to see, and it's a situation that looks like this. I've got some binary number, the first 6-digit one, multiplied by 1 followed by, in this case, 1 0, but it could be more than 1. Well, the situation here, again, helps to draw analogies to decimal numbers. If I want to take a decimal number and multiply it by a power of 10, all that does is it moves the decimal point around. Right? In this case, it makes it 1 bigger. All the numbers shifted 1 to the left, and I slipped a 0 in on the right-hand side. Well, the same thing is going to happen over here. Right? The 6 1s moved over to the left, slipped a 0 in there in the first digit. Right? And I know that you're multiplying by 10 is multiplying by 10. Right? But I want you to think about what actually happened here. 1 0, remember, is 2. Right? So what I did is I took that binary number and I multiplied it by 2, and yeah, that just shifted the decimal point around. This is exactly analogous to what goes on with decimal numbers. In each of these cases, I multiplied the original number by a power of the base. Right? So if I take a binary number and I multiply it by a power of 2, all that does is it moves the decimal point around, just like what happens when we multiply a decimal number by a power of 10. Okay, so we've seen how to do addition, and we've seen a couple of special cases of subtraction and multiplication that are going to come up later on. And ultimately, if you need to do something more complicated, doing binary subtraction, binary multiplication are handled exactly the same way as their decimal counterparts. The only difference is how you handle the carrying. Right? You're going to carry different numbers in different ways. So in the next lecture, we're going to kind of go back to the computer-oriented part of the discussion. And we're going to look at how we take decimal numbers, potentially infinite decimal numbers. Decimal numbers like 1/3, 0.33333 on infinitely many threes, and convert that to a binary number that only is allowed to have a finite number of digits.